Okay, so let's talk about Google Quizzes. Google Quizzes, I call them Google Quizzes, but it's actually from Google Forms. So let's actually generate a new form. Go to New, do a form. Just let me know that's going to share things because I changed the permissions in that folder. Okay, so here's our form, and Google has actually adapted this recently to allow options for quizzes. All right, so let's do this. So we'll do, how about class example, class quiz example. And we need some questions. The first one should be an email question. Remember, forms is anonymous unless we do some type of a question. Actually, we don't have to have an email question. I'll show you this later. But let's do, how about a name question? So let's do, what's your name? We'll make it short answer. Right. Let's add a second question. Let's just get a couple questions here. So let's do, here's the sky. Right. We'll make it short answer. Let's do another one. So that, I want another one. How about what is 2 plus 3? Let's make this multiple choice, and we'll have 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, so let's do another question. Let's do checkbox so we can have more than one answer, and I'll show you how to do partial credit. Okay, so let's do, how about, oops, in caps. So what are the 3 primary colors? All right, and we'll do, how about yellow, red, blue, orange, green, and so forth. And we'll make this a checkbox. Okay, now we have a few questions. Let's go to our settings. So let's actually turn this on. We want to make it a quiz. So in our settings, you see we have general, presentation, and quizzes. We want to go to quizzes, and then we just click make this a quiz. All right, so we can toggle our quiz on and off. So we have some quiz options here, right? So this is how we're going to release the grades. So how students are going to get their grades. You can do it immediately after each submission, which is fine unless you want to do partial credit, right? Or you can do later after manual review. So if you're going to have partial credit of any kind, and that's going to be our checkbox because there's more than one answer, we're going to give partial credit. And I'll show you how that all works. Right, so I'd suggest doing later after manual review. Okay, the respondent can see what? They can see the missed question, the correct answer, or the point values. So when they get their grades back, what do you want them to be able to see? And that's based on your preferences. So I'd say missed questions. I wouldn't give them the correct answers just because if it's online, they might be able to give it to somebody else, the correct answer, and maybe point values. Right, so I'll just hit save. Hey, one thing is, you'll notice once I turned on the quizzes, it gave me this email address. Right? We did not type in an email address. We did name, color, right, the math question, and then another color question. It did this automatically. Right? And now why does it do this? So that I can release the grades. Okay, so now before we start getting responses, how people take our quiz, we need to assign points. Right? And there's two ways we could have generated our quiz. We could have first turned on the quiz option and then created questions. Or in this case, we have questions and we're going to turn this form, the survey, into a quiz. Okay, so to do that, you just click on the question, then you'll see there's an answer key at the bottom. Okay, so we don't actually generate an answer key, we assign the key to this these questions. Okay, so if it's short answer, you'll see if I click key, it wants to know how many points, and it wants to know the correct answer. So the problem here with the short answer is it doesn't really know what to compare it against. Okay, so same thing, short answer, not that we grade our name anyway, but what color is the sky? So when I do this, I can assign points, but it needs to be clear you're going to need to go in and grade these. It's not going to grade them automatically. So what's color is the sky? We'll put 2 points. All right, so you'll notice though, and I'll show you when we get to the multiple choice and checkbox, there isn't anything to grade against. Right, so then we go back to edit question, so you can see it's worth 2 points. Let's go, what is 2 plus 3? So now we'll go to our answer key, and now you can see I can select the correct answer. So if I select 5, it puts a check mark to let me know this is the correct answer. So now anyone that selects 5 will get however many points I suggest. And this will be automatic now. So I'll get 2 points for this one. Well, let's do 3 for no reason whatsoever. And now the checkboxes, so multiple answers on checkboxes. Let's go to the key. Let's make this 3 points, so 1 point each. And the correct answers are red, yellow, and blue. And then go back to edit the question. So now you can see it's worth 3 points. And things like multiple choice and checkboxes, I like to go down and shuffle the order so they're not all the same. Right? So if two kids are next to each other, they're not going to get the same order. Okay, and so then that's how we actually assign points to our quiz. And keep in mind, short answer, paragraph, it won't be able to grade, right? But drop down, multiple choice, and checkboxes, it will be able to grade automatically. Right? And you can see if we added another question. Oh, so let's add one to the bottom here. So what is, how about 5 minus 2? We'll make this multiple choice. You can see now it automatically has the key, or that wasn't there before because I turned the quiz on, right? All right, so we don't need the question, it's just to illustrate now, and every time I create a question, it'll show me the answer key where I can assign points. Okay, now let's get a few responses to see what that looks like. So let's go to preview, and let's take this a couple times. So I'll do jteakin, NWU, at gmail.com. So you do your Gmail account, right? Don't do my email address, because you want it to email to you, not to me. And then we'll do, how about student 1? I put my name. We're going to do a few of these, so let's differentiate between the responses. All right, so what color is the sky? Let's say I get this one right. I'll do blue. What is equals 3? Let's do 5. I'll tell you what, let's get all these right. So it's blue, yellow, and red. And then I'm on a robot. So I'll submit, and then I'm good. So let's do another one. Let's do jteakin again. NWU. And then I'll do student 2. Colors the sky. Let's get this one wrong. So red. Let's get this one wrong. So 3. And let's get just a couple of these. So I'll do blue, orange, and option 6, which I should change. I should go back and change it so it's not there. Right, that's obviously an error. I'm not a robot. Let's submit. And then we're good. Okay? All right, so take it a couple times and then come back and we'll look at our responses. Okay, before we look at the responses, let's go back to settings. And here's where you can actually require it to just limit to one response. All right, so if you want to do just one response per kid, so you'll notice I did jteakin nw@gmail.com twice. If you only want one, you click this. Just realize that you have to have a Gmail account. All right, so if you have a class of students and you wanted to do one response per student, then just have them set up Gmail accounts, right? Right, easy enough, but that's how you limit to one response. Right. Okay, so let's go to our responses. You can see I have 2 responses. I can do a summary, so it lets me know the breakdown of points. It does the breakdown of each question now, right? What students answered on each question, and then it shows me the breakdown of each question. Okay, greens are the correct answer, grays are the incorrect answer. Right? So you can see 100% of students got blue, but only 50% answered for yellow and red, and 50% answered for orange and option 6, right? My error. Okay, now let's go through partial credit. How do I do this? I go to individual, and now you can see I have by student, right? And it's doing my actual email address here. So jteakin NW, this is 1 out of 2 students. And here's where I go in now and assign points. So student name is not worth any points. Student, or what color is the sky? It's blue. So I'm going to have to type in either 2 or I can use the up-down arrow key. Here it graded it correctly already, 3 out of 3. And then green, 3 out of 3. So anytime you see green, don't worry about it. There's nothing to change. Right? So now I've given that student a score. So short answer and paragraph, you're going to have to grade them yourselves. I hit save. Then I'll click the arrow and go to student 2 now. You can see they got this one wrong, so I'll give them 0 points. They got this one wrong. I don't have to give them 0 points because it's already awarded 0. But now watch this. Right? They have, what are the 3 primary colors? They actually got one right, but it doesn't grade partial credit. Okay, so Google Quizzes will not grade partial credit. Then I have to go in and give them 1 out of 3. So that's how I do partial credit. All right, so it's a little weird. The drop-down box says anytime there's multiple answers, Google will not grade multiple answers. Right? It'll just tell you how many they got right and wrong. Save. And now I've just graded the 2 scores I have. Okay, I can release an individual score, so go to whatever that student is, release their score, or in summary, if I scroll down, you can see these are not released yet. I'll have a set of scores. To release them all, I just hit release scores. Right? And then these are toggle buttons, I can click them on and off. Right, so you have 2 ways to release scores. Either do it individually through the individual option, or you got to scroll down just a little bit and get to the scores and release them all, right? And then you can toggle them on and off, right? So then I can send emails and release the scores. So if I were to do that, let's say I send an email. Let's go to my Gmail. You can see here's my release score. So when I open it, what does it look like? Right here. So it tells me I got a 1 out of 8, right? And then I can view. And then here's my view. All right. And those will all be from the options you can set up. Okay, let's go back to our quiz. And that's it for Google Quizzes, right? So you can turn Google Forms into quizzes. Very simple. It won't do short answer paragraph. You're going to have to grade those yourselves. Remember, multiple options or multiple answers, it's going to mark it as 0 points, and you have to give students the partial credit.